Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to another Blender tutorial. I spent the first 2 minutes explaining what I was going to do here, and I found it to be very boring, and I know people don't like to wait. So let's go ahead and load up our reference image. I can't share this. I don't know where my client, my friend, got this image. I don't know what the use cases are for this. So I can't share it, but if you want to go ahead and find a similar church or your own church and try to follow along, you can do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a cube. I'm going to look at this image here. There's definitely a cube here, and that extends back, and then there's a cube here, and cube here. It's almost 3 times the width. And then there is another taller cube rectangle coming right up the middle and up to the top. And then we've got triangles along the top for roofs. This is going to be a very easy shape to do. And then we've got some sort of this purple line here. We can extrude that out. That'll be very easy to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's tab into edit mode. Let's do scale X. That looks good. Control R for an edge loop, and then we'll mouse up once so we have 2 edge loops. Confirm it. Let's undo this here. Okay, so if you do Control R, you put your 2 edge loops down, you press left mouse key, and then you got it sliding around here. If you want it just centered, right click, and that should center it. Then we'll go press 3 on the numpad, or 3 on the top of the keyboard for face select, E to extrude, extrude along the Y axis. Let's go into top view. Let's look how the proportions are. Way too far out. G and Y. There we go. That looks pretty good. Front view. So it's a bit too tall. So I'm just going to press A to select all, S to scale, Z on the Z axis. Okay, that looks good. Let's go to edit, preferences. Let's turn on our keys. There we go. So I don't have to keep saying them out loud. Is there any way to change the scale on this? Doesn't look like it. Left side? Let's put it on the left side. Okay, front view. Now we have the same on the top. Let's tab into edit mode. Select, press 3 for face select. Select these top faces. X, delete faces. Don't want those. 2, press 2 on the keyboard. Shift right, Alt right click, so we select all these edges that are connected. Front view, and we'll press E to extrude, and then Z to lock it. And this will give us our second floor. That looks good. And then we'll do Alt right click along these edges, so we can get those ones. Let's kind of zoom in a bit here. Control B for bevel. Pull it out slightly. If it's too fast, hold down Shift, and you can get more accuracy, more delicate movement. Let's make this a bit thicker. So Control Z to undo, Control B to bevel. Bit thicker, there we go. Press E to extrude. And that messes it up, so we'll do right click to let go of it, Control Z to undo, Alt E for extrude along normals, and then we can, whoa, what do we do here? Okay. Alright, Control Z, undo, Alt E, extrude faces along normals, hold down Shift, there we go, that looks good, top view. Yeah, it looks good to me. Tab out of that. Looks good. Front view. And now we've got some sort of rocky base here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try and create that. So we'll go back in to edit mode. Press 3 for face select. Delete all these bottom faces. 2 for edge select. Alt right click. Select those edges. Front view. We'll do extrude. Z. There we go. And then we'll press 3 for face select. And now if we hold down Alt and right click one of these faces, it's going to follow along the edge of that you're closest to. So come towards this edge right here so we can get the lengthwise around the base of the house, or around the base of the church, if that makes sense. Alt-E again, we'll select along face normals, hold down Shift, bring it up slightly. There we go. And then we'll go to Edge Select, which is 2. Actually, we could even go to Face Select, 3. And then we'll hold down Alt, right-click, get all these bottom faces. And then we could do... Actually, it's going to give us some problems here, so we'll just press X, delete faces. We'll press 2 for Edge Select, select all the bottom edges. Go into 7 on the numpad for top view, and then press S for scale, hold down Shift, and just bring it up slightly, just so there's a bit of an angle. See how that looks. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. You know what, let's just do... I'm going to do Control Z until I'm back and have that bottom face selected. I'm just going to scale it up just a little bit more. There we go. And you can see that these edges right here didn't quite scale in the direction we want them to, so we'll select those edges. Back in the top view, and then we'll press G and Y, bring them down slowly. That looks good. And then there's something off with this top view. Let's do 1 for our vertex select. Select these top vertices. Yeah, they're kind of off kilter there. So let's press S for scale, press Y for the direction, and then we'll press 0 on the numpad. And this will flatten these out evenly with each other, relative to each other. G, Y, bring this out slightly. There we go. We got a bit of a base. Tab out of that, go into front view. Looking pretty good. Let's see if we can't give this random color here. And maybe shadow. And cavity. Yeah, looks much better. Kind of gives it some life. Alright, let's go back into front view. And let's go ahead and make our roofs now. Front view, let's tab out of this. So we're back in object mode. We're going to create a new object. We're going to do cube, G, Z, bring it up above the house. Tab into edit mode, press 2 for edge select this edge, and then we'll do scale X 0, or scale X, and bring it in, and it's going to overlap. So what we can do is scale X 0 on the numpad, press enter, and then if we go into vertex select one of these vertices, press G to grab, make sure that there's no duplicate vertices there. Looks good. Go back into front view, and we can kind of get an idea of the height. So it's a bit higher than a story of the house. So let's just grab this, bring this over here. Yeah, it looks good. Looks like a good height. And then we also need lengthwise. We need to fill up the house. So let's tab into edit mode, 3 for face select, G, Y, and then we will go up to the top here with this magnet. Select the drop down, select vertex. And now when we press G and Y, when we grab it, we can press Control and mouse over any vertex so it'll snap to it. That looks good. We'll do the same thing with the back face. G, Y, and we'll just select a vertex there. Now it should be perfectly lined up. Looks good. So let's see here now. Let's just do edge select, G, X, and we'll go to that vertex. Do it on the other side, G, X, that vertex. Looking good. Tab into edit mode, G, Y, bring it down. There we go. We have a relatively, not relatively, but it's a pretty shitty looking roof right now. We'll fix that up after. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the other direction of the roof. So we can select this object and do Shift D. So we have a new object for duplicate. right click, just leave it where it is. We'll press RZ 90 degrees. Then we'll tab into edit mode, grab this face over here, G and X, bring it over here, grab this face, G, X, hold down Control, bring it to that edge, check it out on top view. Okay, let's do G, Y, kind of center it a bit here. And then I think we're actually going to extend it out to, so it's kind of overlapping the house a bit. No, we'll leave it the way it is. Yeah, we'll leave it the way it is. Okay. So let's just fix up these edges here. G, grab this edge, G, Y, right there. I'm just going to line this up with the floors of the house. G, Y, there. Top looks good. Okay, so that's kind of like the base. We're going to add this is like the foundation of the castle. We're going to add a roof after. And it's looking very tall. So let's see what we can do here. Select all of these, hold down Shift in object mode. We'll just do scale, S to scale, and Z. There, that looks better. Okay, now let's try and fix these. Let's get some life to these roofs. So we'll select this first triangle, tab into edit mode, 3 for face select. Just going to go to front view, center, and I will do, how could we do this? We could do Shift D, so it gives us a new face. Right click, leave it there. Then we could do E to extrude. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. And then do the same on the other side. Shift D, duplicate, E to extrude. Okay. And then what if we do edge select, front view, let's do scale on the X. Let's do scale X 0. Then we'll just G to grab it, bring it up slightly so it's proportional. Let's bring it up a little bit more. There we go. And that's kind of hanging off the side there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks fine. We'll bring out this front face. Actually, we'll bring out these two top faces. G, Y. Bring them out slightly. There we go. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and duplicate the process for the other roof. Okay, so I noticed that this side roof isn't actually a proper triangle. I'm not sure what I did here, so maybe if you guys followed along exactly, you might have the same issue. So I'm going to go into this triangle, tab into edit mode. I'm going to press 2 for edge select. I'm going to select this bottom edge here, press W on the keyboard, subdivide. This is going to split the edge in half, basically. I'm going to press 1, and you'll see that there's actually an extra vertex here. So now we'll go back into side view, press 2 for edge select. We're going to grab this top edge here, and then we're going to do G to grab. We'll press Y, so we bring it along the Y axis, and then we're going to hold down Control so it snaps to that middle vertex. This is going to center our roof, and that should be fine. It doesn't look centered now because this one actually has that extra roof on it, this piece here, but the height is fine, so that's good. And then we can tab, or we can press 1 for vertex select. We can select this vertex, press X, and we can just dissolve the vertex out of there. Okay, and then let's go back to finishing off this roof. Alright, so another thing I didn't really notice, but I'm noticing now, is that you don't actually have to have this back part. So what we could do is grab all this stuff, G, Y, and just snap it to that edge right there. Z, go into wireframe view, and let's just press X, delete faces. Where is it? Faces. There we go. Because this is kind of going to be behind the roof, and there's going to be a tower coming out of here. So we really don't need that. And the proportions just look really off. But maybe once we get the tower in there, it'll look a lot better. So let's tab out, go into object mode, Shift A. Let's do another cube. G is Z. Okay, so it's not as wide as the house. It's about I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to eyeball it. Scale it down. How's that look? That looks pretty good. We want it right into the roof. Tab in edit mode, 3 for face select. Grab this top face. Back into front view. G and Z. There we go, that looks good. And then we've also got 2 of those, like, almost where a floor would be. So let's do Control R. Let's mouse up. No, right click, screw that. Control R, select with, or left click. I'll bring this up, that looks good. Another Control R, bring this up, that looks good. And we've got some sort of checkered railings there, so let's bring this up a little bit. GZ, and then what we can do is W subdivide. What can we bring up? 1, 2, W subdivide again. Alright, so let's go 3 for face select. Grab those 3 faces, those 2, those 3. Okay, that works out good. That amount. And then those 2. And then we can press E to extrude. Go into front view. Looks good to me. We've got a lot of extra geometry here that we don't really need. Press A, select all, X. Actually, before we do that, we're going to go front view. We're going to do 2 on the keyboard. Alt right click this edge, Alt right click this edge. Oops. Alt Shift right click. Alt Shift right click. There we go. So we have both edges selected. And then we will press Control B to bevel. Hold down Shift. Give us something nice. Then we'll press Alt E to extrude along the normals. Hold down Shift. So we got something we like. Now we can select all, press X, and then we will do limited dissolve. And this will clean up all this geometry up here. And now we're going to have some n-gons here. So what we're going to do is go into the modifiers tool, add modifier, and we'll do a triangulate and tab out of edit mode, so we're in object mode, and then we can select the down arrow or press Control A for apply. And now our mesh is triangulated. So it's just triangles, no quads, no n-gons. Let's go back into front view. And what else do we need for this? It's coming along pretty nice. There's almost some thickness to the edges there on that second roof. Let's see what we can do there. Control R. What did that do? It didn't do anything. Control R. Escape. What's going on here? Hold on. Object mode. With this one selected, we'll press H to hide it. Press H to hide this one. Go back to this object. Tab. Control R. We're not getting an edge loop. It's kind of showing up at the bottom there. Okay. Control Z. Control Z. Man, something's messed up here with this triangle mesh. Control Z, get it all gone, delete it all. A, limited dissolve, get rid of everything that we've done. Press 1 for vertex select. Any stupid vertices hanging around anywhere? Nope. So we're just going to do something a little bit different. Tab into object mode, Shift D, so we have a duplicate of it. Tab into edit mode on that. Scale X. Bring it all the way down. Whoops, scale X. Bring it all the way down. GX. Bring it all the way over here. Oops, bring it past the wall. And then we will just go to side view. We'll press 3 on the numpad, but then we'll press 9 on the numpad, so we get the opposite of the angle we're looking at. And then we'll do scale, hold down Shift. Bring it up slightly. Go into side view. How's that look? It looks good to me. G, X, hold down Control, snap it. There we go. We've got our accent. We can fix up this face a bit. So we can do, let's do H. Let's see what's underneath there. Delete that face. Delete that edge. Huh. Okay. What's this face too? Yeah, delete those faces. That looks good. Does that look good? I think it looks good. Maybe let's bring it up slightly. GZ. Okay. Looks fine to me. I don't want to be here all day. Shift D, X. Bring it past the model, GX. Control to snap. Check the model over here. Looks good. Okay. Let's press Alt H to unhide everything we hid. Let's hide this plane again. We don't need that there. Now what can we add? Doors and windows, right? Let's add some doors and windows. Okay, in front view, one on the numpad, we're going to do Shift A, Mesh, Plane. Bring it over here so we can see it. R, X to rotate on the X-axis, 90 degrees. Press Enter. Period on the numpad to zoom in. Tab in edit mode. Grab this top edge. 2. E to extrude. Z. And then we're going to bevel this top edge. So with the top edge selected, Control B. Pull out the mouse pad or pull out the mouse. It's not working. So what are our options here? C to clamp. Press C. Nope, that doesn't work. I. Nope. Sharp. Z. Profile. M. Is it mode? No, it's not. Hold on, let's check all these. Let's select all the edges. Control B. No. Interesting. What could we do here? Why is the bevel not working? Control B. Oh my god, I figured it out. Alright, sometimes this is like just so annoying in Blender. Okay, so Control B for bevel. Doesn't do anything. We'll press V for... There we go. Okay, V. And now we'll start getting our edges. And then we can mouse up so we can get a bit more of a curved edge. There we go, that looks good. And then we'll do edge select, G, Z, bring this down. Scale this in on the X-axis. That looks good. And then we can extrude it along the Y-axis. And then we can do I for inset. Hold down Shift. And then we can do extrude again along the Y-axis. And if we hold down Control, we can just snap to that back vertex. And then so we don't have this overlapping annoyance, we can press 3 for face select, grab the bigger face, X, delete face, and we're left with something like this. A rather thick window. Okay, let's go back into front view. Shift A, cube. Should have started right in the middle there. Bring it over here. Scale this down. Scale it down here more. Scale in the X. Z, wireframe view, so we can see what we're working with here. Scale this down. Scale it on the X. And then we'll do Shift D, Z, Shift D, Z. There we go. And then we'll do Shift D, leave it there. Rotate on the Y-axis 90 degrees. Now press 3 to grab this top face, G, bring it up. Grab this bottom face, bring it down, right into the frame there. Grab this face, GZ, snap it right to the top face there. And then we can grab all of these bars here. Control +++, make sure we have them all. Top view, Z wireframe, and we can just do G and Y and make them somewhat centered in the frame. There we go, that looks better. And then I don't like these when the two faces are over top of each other like that. So I'll grab this face, And we'll bring it GY, bring it back, or bring it forward. Now bring it back. Just bring it back slightly. There we go. That looks good. I like that. Now we have a window. Go to front view, and now we can duplicate this. Scale this down. Where do we need one? We need 3. We need 5. Okay. It's GY, bring it into the front. GY, snap it right to the wall. Front view, way too big. Let's scale it down even more. G and Z, looks good. And then we'll Shift D to duplicate it. Leave it where it is. GX, bring it over here. And then we got one in the front. So we'll do the same thing. Shift D to duplicate. Leave it there. GX, bring it to the center. And then we'll grab it. G, Y, bring it out past the face. And then we'll GY, bring it against the face. Oh, we got that overlapping issue again. So I'm going to tab into it. 3 for face select. Grab this face. And I'm just going to GY, hold down Shift, and just bring it forward slightly. There we go. That looks better. We want a back face there because we're not going to see inside the house, but on our texture, we're just going to make this a dark color so it looks like the window is actually looking into something. Let's go ahead and fix these. GY. And fix this one. Tab, face select, oh, what did I do? GY, Shift, there we go. Looks good. Front view, we've got 2 more windows that are a little bit smaller, so Shift D, bring this up. Period on the numpad to focus. Scale this down on the Z. Scale it on the Z. Oops, scale Z. And scale it even more. That looks about right. And Shift D, X. Looks good. Grab them both. GY. Snap them right up against the wall. There we go. Front view. See, are we missing anything else? There is a circular window and a door. Okay. Let's do Shift A. Let's see, what can we do for a circular window? I guess we'll make a circle. R, X. Actually, before we do anything, let's press X, delete that. Shift A, circle. With this pop-up here on the bottom left, click that, and we're going to change our vertices to 8. We don't need 24. Let's do 8. Now, we can rotate it X 90 degrees. G to grab. Excuse me. There we go. Looks good. Tab into edit mode. 1 for vertex select. E to extrude. S to scale. Looks like a decent frame. Select all. E to extrude along the y-axis. There we go. Delete these back faces. 2 for edge select. Alt. Select all these edges. E to extrude, S to scale, 0 on the numpad, press enter. Now I have this single vertex in the middle. And we'll do Shift A, cube, G, bring it over, scale it down. Let's bring it into the front, GY, bring it up, scale it down. Scale it down a little, scale it up. Scale it on the x-axis. Oops. Scale x. That looks good. And we'll bring it back slightly. Grab this face, GY. It might be a bit too thick, eh? Control plus plus will scale it. Shift X this time so we don't scale the x-axis down. There we go. That looks good. Then we'll do Shift D. Leave it there. R, Y, 90. There we go. I'll do Shift D. Rotate on the Y, 45. Shift D. R, Y, 45. Well, I guess we'd do 90 that time. And tab out. How does that look? That doesn't look too bad. I don't like those overlapping faces, you know me. Let's just do left select. So we have our 3D cursor there, Shift A. We'll add let's just do a cube. Scale it right down. Front view. Kind of center it as best we can. Rotate Y 45 degrees. Tab out. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Front view. Let's bring this over. G. Scale it way down. Looks like it fit about right there. G and Y, bring this forward. G and Y, hold down Control and snap it to a vertex. Oh, and then we also have that face issue again. So let's bring those faces forward. Oh, there's several faces in there, I forgot. GY, bring them forward slightly. Tab out. Yeah, looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and save. Okay, we saved it. And we have two things we can do to finish this off. We'll do Shift A, plane, rotate on the X 90 degrees, tab into edit mode, 2, edge select, and we'll do Control B to bevel. What was the key again? V? There we go, V. And that looks good. Bring this edge down, G and Z. That looks like a door. And we will extrude this along the y-axis. I to inset. Are we making a door frame or are we making a door? Yeah, let's just make a door. We're not going to make a door frame. So what we could do is... what type of door could we make here? You know, I think we're just going to leave the door the way it is. GZ, bring this down slightly. And we'll scale this. Bring it over. GY. There's not a lot of detail in the game that I'm making this for. So we're just going to leave it the way it is. GZ. Bring it down. How does that look proportionally? Let's bring this up slightly. That looks about right. Okay. And then let's just set this into the wall a bit. G and Z. Hold down Shift. Bring it in slightly. There we go. And there's also a bit of a step there. So let's just make that quickly. Shift A, cube. Where'd our cube go? Bring it into the front, scale it down, front view. G and Z, bring it down. Tab into edit mode. Whoa. GY, bring it to the front there. G and X, kind of center it a bit, scale X. Kind of bigger than the door. Let's grab this face, bring it down, GZ. And then let's bring it over along the y-axis, GY, hold down Control. Let's do edge select, yeah, GY. That would align right with the face there. Did it? Didn't quite. Interesting. I guess it's doing the median of the object, not the edge of the object. Or could we just grab the edge and then GY? Is that going to work? No, it's not. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Just grab it. GY, eyeball it. Tab out. How does that look? Okay, I think it looks pretty good. Save. And so now we're done. We're pretty much done with what we're going to model here. The next part is going to be texturing. We'll watch that in part 2. If you want this model for free, it's going to be up on my OpenGameArt page. The link is below. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link below. If you want to go to my store, there's only one package in there, but maybe you guys might be interested in it. It's a $10 package, a bunch of cool bows and arrows that I made. If you have any questions, leave a comment or join the Discord.